Welcome to Jersey Matters. I'm Larry Manti. It is an interesting time in Trenton right now, and in the thick of it is our next guest. John Bramnick is the minority leader in the New Jersey Assembly. He also represents the 21st Legislative District in North Jersey, which is mostly Union County, but some of Morris and some of Somerset County. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Let's talk about I don't even know if it's a scandal yet, but the current problem that the governor has with Katie Brennan. It's a horrible story. She alleges she was raped during the campaign and that they then hired her and the person she accuses of raping her. And the question is, how could that person be hired? Bigger than that, it's what the governor knew and when he knew it. Where is this going?
Well, they've been asking questions, and it turns out his inner circle knew everything, but they never told the governor. It was a serious allegation. Probably the governor should have known about it, and there's going to be questions as to whether he did know about it. He's denied it, and that's why they're having an investigation.
Let me ask you a couple of questions, follow-up questions on that. Is it possible that his chief of staff and chief legislative counsel knew about it and didn't tell him?
Of course. Anything's possible. It's possible.
Now, let's say you're governor.
You better tell me.
If you're governor... Oh, that's okay.
Thank you. I appreciate
There's your answer.
Yeah,
There's your
I'm
answer.
going to play governor. That's good.
No, yeah. No,
I do it like this. I'm sure let's assume he didn't know. I'm sure he brought him and go like this. There's an allegation. There's a fellow working for me where there's an allegation of rape, and you didn't tell me. Knowing people like Chris Christie, the former governor, he wouldn't be happy. And I'm sure Phil Murphy's not happy either.
If it happened that way. I mean, I guess that's what we have to get to, whether they didn't tell him. Doesn't it defy credibility that they wouldn't tell the governor that?
His chief of staff is leaving right now. I don't know why he's leaving. He's a good guy, but he's on his way out. So does it defy logic? Well, I think that's why they're having hearings, but I'm not going to jump the gun. I suspect that whatever was done, it wasn't enough to protect this woman, period.
One last question on this, and then we can move on, and that is the email between Katie Brennan and the governor. The governor wrote to her immediately after hearing from her, saying, she didn't say she was raped, she said it was a personal matter, I really need to talk to you. From his private account, he emails back, we know you well, we're on it. And now he says it had nothing to do with the rape allegations.
It sounds a little weird. If you say you're on it, then what were you on? So that's why they're having hearings.
And then a week later, she gets a phone call from a law firm he's connected to saying, don't worry about it, we fired this guy, and he never was fired.
Well, do you think the Democrats in Trenton are investigating a Democratic governor if there weren't serious allegations? Remember, the Democrats are in charge of the legislature, and they decided to investigate their own governor. So your questions are the reasons Democrats are investigating Democrats.
And Republicans get to sit back on the sideline and smile at all this?
No, nobody's smiling. The bottom line is everyone thinks Brennan is credible and that she has a serious allegation here, and we all want to make sure that she gets justice, period. I mean, you can see it's nonpartisan because we're all on that committee.
Are you stunned that there's not more national coverage of this story?
No, because the national media... this is a rape allegation against a Democratic governor. If it was against a Republican governor, I suspect it might get a little more attention from the media on the left. But they're not in this. I don't think it quite found the smoking gun yet. If there's a smoking gun, all sides of the media will be on it.
So the email doesn't raise to a smoking gun that the governor knew about this?
Well, not in the view of the national media yet. But if there's a smoking gun, they'll be all over it. It'll be like a Bridgegate issue.
It's interesting how you set up why there's an investigation, that it's so serious that Democrats are investigating Democrats, that seems like that would never happen. And yet, the way things are in Trenton right now, it's not that unbelievable. You have a split Democratic Party. You have a president in the Senate that doesn't get along with the governor.
Not get along is a far stretch from investigating and impaneling a bunch of legislators to investigate your own governor. That shows a little bit more than the fact that Democrats aren't getting along. It shows that they're concerned about what happened to Katie Brennan.
So you don't think any of this is personal? Any of this is political?
everything's political. It's Trenton. Actually, almost nothing gets done that's not political.
But they're
Trenton,
not purposely trying to harm the governor.
No, I don't think so. Because there's people on that committee like Loretta Weinberg, who's considered like I'd say she's fairly straightforward on these things. And if it was just personal, they wouldn't take it this far.
The consolidation plan, which we've had many legislators here pushing for that, saying it's the greatest thing, it's going to save the state so much money, you've been against.
Well, if you're talking about consolidating schools, it's the most dangerous plan that is ever brought forth in this state. I'm going to make it real simple. There is a lawsuit pending that would end district lines, meaning that if you live in Summit or Westfield and you control your schools and they expand that to get rid of those district lines and they make it a county school, you're not picking your school anymore. The county is deciding where you go to school. So if you think you're going to your neighborhood school, you're not. And the public better be aware that I think that Phil Murphy, and actually Governor Corzine was in favor of this, county schools. Well, county schools mean the county runs your school, not mom and pop who are on the Board of Education. And no longer, they may bus you to a community that's 3-4 miles away.
Isn't that the worst case scenario?
That's what this lawsuit brought by Justice
But it's a lawsuit,
Garrison.
not what the committee's talking about right now.
Well, they're talking about consolidation. You consolidate schools in an area, you no longer control your local school. Look, Trenton's already trying to take over everything. They take over the schools. They're not good at taking over anything. They take over your schools, and I got to tell you, you think people are leaving the state now because taxes are too high? You take over these schools and end mom and pop on the Board of Education, you'll have more and more people leaving the state.
How about not just the schools? How about some municipalities where you have a small municipality with a big municipality, you have 2 police departments, 2 police chiefs?
Good ideas.
You like that?
Absolutely. And, each is a case-by-case situation. And there is a lot of home rule in the state. But when you merge 2 contiguous municipalities with police departments, you can normally work that out. But if you start merging county districts into a county school, dangerous.
So as long as you're talking about merging municipalities or consolidating municipalities, you're all for it. When you start talking about schools, you're against it.
Well, I'm against the fact that the county will be running your schools or Trenton's running your schools. If you had 2 school districts that merge and decided to merge together and the boards of education work that out, I'm in favor of that. With police departments, case-by-case basis, but generally that's a lot easier and makes a lot more sense than taking away home rule on schools. People move and buy a house because they like that school. And now you take that school away, man, I don't want to get in the way in between those moms and the people who are voting for that.
So I think when you talk about consolidation, some people's eyes glaze over when they hear about it. What you're saying is you shouldn't. You better.
I'll make it simple. You merge schools, you may not go into the school that you moved into that neighborhood to go to. So before you start going, yeah, let's have a county school, let's save money. Oh yeah, I don't think you like that. Now moving police departments together, more of a political problem. You got 2 chiefs, who's going to be the chief? That's why that doesn't work most of the time. But merging police departments, sometimes fire departments, and local governments, probably an easier thing to do and politically more savvy.
A lot more to talk about with Assembly Minority Leader John Bramnick when Jersey Matters continues. We got taxes, redistricting, and how blue is New Jersey going to turn when Jersey Matters continues.